From the Oklahoma newsroom, this is a Thunder update. I'm Jenny Carlson. Monday night in Dallas, it was the Russell Westbrook show. At least at the end of the game, Eric Horn joins us on the phone to discuss the greatness there in the fourth quarter. Eric, the Thunder finishing the game, I believe it was a 14-0 run, and Westbrook with 12 of those points, including that game-winning shot with 7 seconds to go. Westbrook really fantastic at the end. What were your impressions of just what he did late in that game?
You know, standard fare Russell Westbrook, which he's been all season. He's been great in the clutch for the most part. You know, it'd been a while since we had seen him close a game out in this nature. The Thunder, when they've won recently, haven't had to, you know, have these late Westbrook flurries. But, you know, this was a night where they needed it for sure. The Thunder's offense struggled when Westbrook wasn't in the game. Their defense actually struggled for, it was better than the Houston game, but their defense struggled to get stops in a key stretch in the third quarter where the lead was extended back to double digits for the Dallas Mavericks. So this was another one of those Russell Westbrook vintage performances that people are going to remember when they go to sit down and think about their MVP voting.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, Eric, because Sunday, the day earlier, obviously the MVP candidate head-to-head matchup that everyone was wanting to see, so highly touted between Westbrook and James Harden as the Thunder was in Houston, became a pretty convincing Houston victory. Westbrook played okay, but, you know, Thunder doesn't win. I think that was, you know, sort of a negative toward Westbrook and that MVP candidacy. But then he turns right around and has that performance on Monday night. Where in your mind do things stand at this point? I believe 10 games to go for the Thunder as it relates to Westbrook in this MVP chase.
You know, it's still one of those things that's probably day to day. I think the edge is still in Harden's favor because his team has the better record. And, you know, they had that demonstrative performance on Sunday that while one game shouldn't count in the grand scheme of the MVP, Harden's team has been the better team throughout the season. I feel like it's still going to be a very close vote. You know, you have interesting qualities for each guy. You've got Harden with the better overall team record. You have Westbrook with more of the standout, you know, individual performances in which he's taken the team and carried it on his shoulders. So it's going to be tough to see if voters can actually differentiate between the quote-unquote value of these two guys. The award is an interesting one in that, you know, everybody's got a different definition of how much these guys mean to their team and how much impact that they have on the game and how that should be factored into the award.
Yeah, obviously a lot yet to be determined. I think a lot of people are going to be watching these last few weeks very closely as it relates to the MVP race. But, Eric, you bring up a good point about wins and losses. And, you know, as you look at these last two games, the Thunder, with Westbrook's heroics, miraculously get a split out of the back-to-back, winning that game at Dallas. But, you know, they put themselves in a really tough position there. Obviously did not play well at Houston. Diagnose the Thunder's issues, Eric. When you've watched these last two games, what have you been most concerned about that led to such a big hole in the Houston game that they couldn't overcome? And then Monday night led to Westbrook having to play hero late.
Well, you know, I think that not playing consistent enough defense is the main problem. But the defense did improve in the second game against Dallas. But you'd expect that because Dallas isn't the offensive team that Houston is. Dallas came in scoring the fewest points per game in the league. But, you know, you had the offensive struggles as well. When Westbrook wasn't on the floor, the Thunder's offense was pretty bad yesterday. He had to come in and really save them. You know, Billy Donovan is starting to play Samaje Christian more minutes in terms of when Westbrook is off the floor and when Westbrook's on the floor. He's actually putting Samaje Christian in there, and he's a guy who's not going to be known for his offense, but it goes just beyond him. You know, the starters at one point last night against Dallas were 2 for 12 from the field. Victor Oladipo really struggled. He started 1 for 7. Steven Adams missed some easy shots around the rim. Andre Robertson's been missing some relatively easy baskets around the rim. The starters themselves have struggled to finish in the past few games. And, you know, when the starters are struggling to finish, it just puts more pressure on, you know, the reserves to come in and score. And those reserves are a lot of guys, particularly when Victor Oladipo isn't a part of the reserves, a lot of guys who aren't going to be able to create their own shot. So again, it falls on Russell Westbrook coming in and being able to get guys shots, and that's been a problem that's lingered for the Thunder all season. The second unit really struggles to get shots and create open looks when Russell Westbrook's not out there.
Well, we'll see if any of that improves Wednesday night as the Thunder heads to Orlando for a game against the Magic. Then 3 games at home in 5 days, starting with the Spurs. No easy task there on Friday night. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.